Hello guys, finally we need to download SQL Server Management Studio. And the version which we need to download it is 18 because this one will help me to manage and edit SQL Server 15, which is 2019. And SSMS is SQL Server Management Studio. You can download it from here. It's about half gig. Click on it and then the download will start. And as you see, it is 538 megabyte, about half gigabyte. I already have it, so I don't need to download it. So now what we need just to go through the installation. Now keep in your mind, we might need to have another library to install to be able to install SQL Server Management Studio. Now this is my package. I would right click and run it as administrator. It tells me Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Welcome, click install to begin. Location, where is going to be installed? Installed. Loading packages, please wait. So we have overall progress. Now all specified components have been installed successfully. The computer needs to be restarted. Restart. Server is online again. We need to log in. We logged in and now we need to check. So from start, here we have now Microsoft SQL Server tools. We have four main tools. One of these four, which is this one, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. This one we are going to spend a long time using it. Let us see the other tools in order. Analysis Service Deployment. As you see, this is one of the tools which I can use it to export and enforce the deployment of some configurations. With this one currently, it is a bit early to talk about it in more details. So I just want you to understand we have such a tool, and this tool simply will be used to deploy the output from an analysis service project to a target server. That's it. Till we will test it in the future. This is the first tool. The second tool is the database engine tuning advisor. This one now will try to access to our instance using Windows authentication. Already logged in as a domain admin, so the system detect it and try to use it to access. This is valid, we can access. If I connect now I'm connecting as an administrator to our database. Here we have the main four databases as we see: master, model, Microsoft database, and temporary database. Click to select individual tables if we want inside it, if we have any individual tables. Again, this is something for now, we don't need to use it. We will see later what is the main benefit of it. We just tested, connectivity is valid. We will check later exactly what is the benefit of it and how can I use it. Now the third tool, which is Microsoft SQL Server Management, I will jump it now because this is the main one which we need to use it, and we will see what's on there. So I will check for now SQL Server Profile. This one, as you see, it's open like this. With this one, you can start with a new trace and do your work. So with a new trace, you need, of course, to connect to your main SQL server and do the work with the capacity of server profile. But again, we will check this one later. Now the main tool here, which I need to test it, and this is the main goal of the installation of this studio, the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18. With this one, this is where all the work is. Here again, I'll try to access server type, it's database engine. You can access to analysis later if you want. You remember we installed the instance of analysis here. We have reporting and we have integration. For now, just database engine, which is your real data on databases. Windows authentication as GCyber administrator is fine. Connect. So as you see now to the left side, this is where we have all the work. The database created by default, we have system databases. The four system databases: master, model, Microsoft database, and temporary database. So with the master also here we have some tables, system tables. As you see, double click on it, you can see the columns if you want, keys. So here we need to spend some time to deal with all these. And at least we need to understand how we're going to deal with a database and some main information about it, like what is relational database, what is normalization, why do we need to use them, what's the benefit of key. These kind of things, you as an admin, you don't expect to do such a work, do normalization for databases, because this is for the developers. But for you, at least you need to have an information, because that is going to help you to know exactly how to make a backup, what to restore. If a developer asks you about something, you have an idea at least what the developer is talking about, and so on. We have security, who will be allowed to log in and access to what kind of credentials to be in their audit, to follow what's going on the data. We have server objects, backup devices, endpoint, linked servers, triggers, replication in case you have other server. always on high availability. We have the management, so we have policy, data collection, resource governor, some other tools. Now our main goal, we have successfully deployed the SQL Server, so in the future if someone asks us to install SQL Server, we have now a good idea how to do it. Maybe we need to improve our skills in the future to deploy it on a failover cluster, okay? If you know already how to do failover cluster, which what we discussed through the MCSA 2019 series, then the installation of SQL after that is going to be very easy. Just you need to install the first node, you already define the failover cluster, and then you define the second node, and that's it. So it's not going to be any complicated task. You just review the installation of Hyper-V using a failover cluster in MCSA 2019 series, and the installation of SQL is not going to be harder than that at all. The Hyper-V was harder than SQL in reality when you want to install it with failover cluster. Then we will see how we can make a backup for our databases, how to restore them, how to deal with some registry keys. So I need to make sure in the future if I have any problem with SQL database, I can restore it without any problem, because you know, here we cannot lose the data. Maybe the data is relating to the patient in hospital and it contains their medical record. So you cannot simply say I can lose the database. So I need to do all the procedures to know how exactly to backup, make it high available, and also how to recover in case you have any disaster. Definitely, we have a long list of tools we can go with, especially with the backup and restore third party, but we will take it a step at a time till you will feel you gain a real control over SQL database. Okay, we have it now on this server. Your practice, try to install it on Victoria PC1 and see if you get a problem or an error, and if you can use it to connect to this server and access to the database. That's all what we have it in this video. Thanks for watching.